warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon to all of my classmates and also my lecturer. Today we'll be presenting on the case study on BioDesail Incorporated, founded and created by Josh, Hannah and Matthew. So based on the questions that we are provided, we are to answer 4 questions out of 7. And from here we have selected the best questions that we have answered, and we go to number 1. Basically, it involves around biodiesel and what biodiesel is and how they are to increase or improve their company, their business into producing better biodiesels that are more sustainable, more better, and basically just increase productivity and yield. What is biodiesel? In essence, biodiesel basically is a byproduct of biomasses and biodomes that they use to get the fumes or the methane gases that are available in basically almost all farms entirely. So basically an example of biodiesel that has been created in Malaysia is a derivative of minyak kelapa sawit, palm oil. So basically this thing is digested, broken down and synthesized to become biodiesel. So basically this is what biodiesel is in Malaysia. So we go back to our main topic. The main topic here are 4 questions that we are to answer. So basically we go to the first one. What are the key factors in determining the viable business opportunity that are available for Josh, Hannah and Matthew? So basically what we have found within the case study is that every team member are consistent with their capabilities, knowledge and experience that they have. For example, Matthew himself has an MD and a professor that allows him to actually research and develop the biodiesel itself. How are they familiarizing themselves? Sometimes that are new to them. Differentiation enough and create significant value to the customer. Basically, they take this biodiesel and try to explain to the customer and to the consumers on what the biodiesel actually is and how can it benefit them in the future. So basically it's a very good show and gesture of something new so that people know what their products are and is. They are capable of attracting the necessary financials, physical and human resources as per with the case study. We have found that these guys are able to find the necessary financial backgrounds, the physical and human resources that are needed, and the ones that they actually need to progress into developing a better biodiesel industry in BioDesail Incorporated. So they are able to generate a reasonable amount of returns in their investments. Because of that, a lot of people are more interested in investing in their company, investing in their business, making biodiesel more lucrative, making biodiesel more sustainable in the future. And then we go to the second question. What drives this industry, this BioDesail Incorporated, much further than it already has? Nowadays, people around the globe are increasingly becoming aware of environmental issues, which is a very huge case in any part of the world. Global warming, pollution and all and such. Biodiesel gives an alternative on clean, renewable energy. Yes, it still includes combustion, but lesser on the carbon emissions and basically renewable. We don't really have to worry about supplies. We can generate supplies if we need to. Most of the people give lots of efforts trying to create healthy environments, be it at home, workplace, and public places. And with biodiesel, it is viable and it is available and it is much more reasonable, trying to create a much more healthier alternative, a much more healthier workspace environment. It's the easiest way to obtain fuel in the future, mind you, because biodiesel can be created not in factories, not in foundries, but in farms. Biodiesel, like I said, and I've shown you just now, that biodiesel is a derivative and a synthesized version of palm oil. By using biodiesel, people now can reduce the pollution. Biodiesel fuel releases less toxics, basically lesser on the carbon monoxide, lesser on the carbon emissions, carbon in general, as compared to petroleum-based fuels, which generates, mind my language, but a hell of a amount of carbon emissions. It is hydrocarbon per se. This fact can convince people to start using biodiesel. It is true, because once people understand and know on what biodiesel can actually give and what biodiesel can actually produce, which is clean, renewable, sustainable energy, people are going to be attracted to the company and invest more. Not only are they gaining their revenues back and their investments in returns, but they're also contributing into the cleanliness of the environment, including the air pollutions, the carbon emissions, and also possibly reducing global warming. On to the third question that we've selected. What do you see as a possible flaw in the current business strategy? As per with the case study, Josh, Matthew, and Hannah, they did not really protect their intellectual properties, which is quite sad to say. The team members do not make any references or trademarks, which is a problem. So basically, whatever they do, people can just copy it without any repercussions. No copyrights, and basically their trade secrets are, well, there's no trade secrets thanks to the no copyrights and trademarks. And the other point is, there is no mention of how the company is going to deal with competition. Their business model explains on what they're going to do, explains on what they want to achieve, explains on the returns and the investments that are available inside, but they do not, however, mention on how they will deal with competition, which is going to be a problem sooner if not later. And of our last question that we selected is how can Hannah, Josh, and Matthew improve their chances of success? Well, basically, to improve on the chances of success, number one is to protect their intellectual properties, their trademarks, their copyrights. Make sure they got them patented down, and voila, nobody can copy you. Number two, capitalizing on their products with proper advertising, trying to entice the people, trying to educate the people on how biodiesel can give a better alternative in using a combustible fuel, much like petrol diesel, but with lesser repercussions on nature and lesser pollutions and whatnot. It's renewable, it is efficient as the current petrol diesel counterpart, as efficient in fact. Not only that, these are clean alternatives. The source of energy, as I said time and time again, is renewable. Most of the producers of biodiesel will be farmers, not huge corporations such as Shell, ExxonMobil, Petronas, or whatever not. These biodiesel industry will utilize the collective purchasing power of the co-op, the cooperation of agriculture people, and they gain the ability to face and or match the economic scale of the current market. So basically, with the purchasing power of the cooperation, they are able to gain enough income, enough capital to develop their company to become better in research, in trying to improve their investments, and trying to entice and educate the people on how biodiesel can actually improve their way of life. Improve not only their revenue, mind you, but also the efficiency of crops and crop yields. By using biodiesel, you don't really have to worry about diesel spilling over the floor or spilling over the ground and thus killing the plants. Biodiesel is biodegradable. If you pour it on plants, plants will eat them, much like any other fertilizer. And because of biodiesel being produced mainly by farmers, well, they don't really have to depend on their crop yield alone. They can also depend on biodiesel yield. And that is all. Thank you very much.